Welcome to Make Your Wealth Work, the podcast where wealth becomes your greatest ally in achieving your dreams.
Here we are back again in your earbuds to make your wealth work. I am excited to be rethinking retirement with you today, Joe. What do you have in store for us?
Well, let me just throw something right in your face. I'm a Christian, right? I take the Bible seriously, and I looked for it, and I can't find the word. I can't find retirement in the Bible. So I'm thinking there might be a better way. There might be another alternative that might be more fun. And I know that for some people, sitting on the porch, playing checkers or throwing a line in the water or playing golf 7 days a week might be their jam. And that's perfectly fine, right? But I've found in working over the years and working with people, especially, building relationships and adding to the treasure that's been given to me over the years, that I love what I do. And I love being able to create value for people and with people. So I love building up people. I love investing in people, loving on them, serving them. And this is my passion, and it's also my vocation. And so I don't understand why somebody would just take themselves out of service, which is our definition of retirement, taking yourself out of service, cold turkey, right? And stop doing something you've been doing for a long time and just stop it all together and go do something else. I guess it works for some people. I don't know if it works for everyone. I suspect that a lot of people can't wait for retirement because they hate what they do.
Yeah, you think so, Joe? I mean, come on.
So they have, and I'm not going to talk about any particular industry, but it's really not about the work. It's not about the industry. It's about the person. And I believe that a lot of people got into their present jobs because it was a way to pay the bills. It was a way to take care of their family. And I respect them for it. I have nothing but respect for people who plowed through a job for 20, 30, 40 years because it paid the salary. It put a roof over their head. My dad started working when he was 8 years old.
Wow.
For a tailor.
No kidding. Really?
Yeah. He made it all the way through 10th grade, as a matter of fact. He and my mom both graduated 10th grade. But he had a full-time job at 8 years old. And my dad was happy. He was joyful. He made it to almost 90. And he did everything he could do to take care of his family. He loved us, right? And I respect that. So I'm not throwing stones at anybody for the choices that they make in life. I'm just saying that I enjoy doing what I'm doing. And I believe that I'm better at it today than I was 15 years ago, 20 years ago. And so I'd like to continue to hone my craft and share that with younger people, because by definition, pretty much everybody who works with me is younger. Right? And I want to share with them this treasure where we get to serve people and help them build up their lives and help them build up freedom, help them give control back and really self-respect back, and take the shackles off their neck and off their ankles and off their wrists. And the shackles are caused by people being in debt, right? So I love what I do. I don't have any desire to stop doing it. And from what I understand, they're going to keep on paying me. So I kind of think that's okay. And I think if you can kind of redesign your career so that you can take the time off that you want to take off, now you've got the best of both worlds. So again, my wife and I love going to the beach. And we try to get to the beach as often as possible, 4, 5, 6 times a year. And so if I can do what I do and be able to take the time off, and I do mean off, then there's no necessity, there's no requirement to quote unquote retire. And I understand the idea of making room for young people to come up and take over those positions. But, I think that more likely involves a scarcity mentality in thinking that there's only so much money to go around. There's only so many jobs to go around. No, people are inventing themselves and reinventing themselves all the time. They're coming up with new ideas. They're building new businesses. So I question the whole notion of retirement in the first place.
Forget retirement, Joe says. So that's one of the things I find interesting with it. I think it's one of your sayings is you're more productive, or we should be more productive in our later years.
Well, I hope that I'm better at what I do now than I was when I was 23 years old when I first started the business.
Yeah, you better be, Joe.
And people do look at me and they say, I'm looking at the top of your head. It's kind of white up there. I'm going to assume and hope that you know what you're doing.
Got some wisdom.
Only time's going to prove that, isn't it?
And, right, man. So let's talk about capital assets, because this was a twist from the last episode. You talked a little bit about funding a business, and I want you to lay out for us how creating capital assets plays into this idea of retirement.
Sure. So one of the most prolific writers about this topic is Robert Kiyosaki. And he always creates the dichotomy between rich people and poor people. And he says, rich people invest in capital assets. So they create capital assets, and those capital assets are designed to create cash flow or income streams that then create and sustain the lifestyle, right? Those income streams now buy the toys. Now, if you don't have an income stream, a passive income stream that continues to grow and grow and grow, and there's nothing you can do about it, the alternative to having those toys is to use debt, right? And we talked about why most people are using debt, because they haven't built up the capital base. They don't see a reason for it. They don't understand how to do it. They don't have the patience to do it over years and years and years, right? But wealthy people understand that you want to build up a capital base to create income streams that's going to be hopefully bulletproof. And that's another reason why you want more than one income stream, right? You may want to have a market account and the business that you operate and cash flowing real estate. So multiple income streams. So the bigger picture of the infinite banking concept is not just setting up a life insurance policy that you could borrow against and finance your car. Well, you're really just financing a liability. And yeah, you're getting your money back. But a lot of people will also come to me and they want to think bigger. And they like the idea of creating that passive income stream toward the fourth quarter, as I call it. And so in order to do that, the most efficient and effective way to do that is to recycle your money, to have your cash flow come back to you instead of going out to other lenders and building up these assets. Now, the rinse and repeat portion of this is continually driving money into your capital base, driving money into your family banking system, and making all of your financial decisions from that source. So I don't buy an investment. I don't make a major purchase. I don't invest in a business directly using debt. I drive that money into my family banking system first. So the first thing that it does is it creates or it increases a life insurance policy that is going to be there to create that death benefit whenever that happens. That just sits in the background. It's not ready to do its job but one time. And that's going to be a long time from now. But in the meantime, I'm creating all these extra benefits for me that I get present use of. So I'm putting the money through the policy and then I'm borrowing against it. And now I've created two assets. I have the asset which formulates the banking system, and I have the asset that I've invested in by taking a loan from my policy. So now I've got two.
So we're talking about like businesses, real estate. Are you even talking like trading accounts and things like that? Is that considered?
I've talked to people about trading accounts, and a lot of people that I come across are not as crazy about the quote unquote stock market. A lot of people that I come across are more conservative. But let's say that you have someone who would like to venture into the markets, into a Wall Street type account. And I'll say, how would you like to put a belt and suspenders around that strategy?
Belt and suspenders.
Why don't you take a $100,000 loan against your policy and set yourself up an amortization schedule and pay that loan back over, you name it, 5 years, 7 years. Now you're going to restore all the equity back into your policy. It's not going to be encumbered anymore. You've released the loan. You borrowed the money out. You paid it back. But now you have that market account. And let's say that you're one of these crazy people who likes day trading. And you say, well, I'm pretty good at it. And I think I can make myself some money by managing my own stock portfolio or my own portfolio. I'm not going to hire Joe Pantozzi to do it. I'd like to do that myself. Joe's managing my safe assets, my life insurance policies, and my overall business plan, my financial plan, my estate plan, my legacy plan. Great. I like that because I like to be the guy wearing the white hat. I'd rather be the guy wearing the white hat and not the guy who loses because you made a bad investment. So I tell you what, you do that.
You do you, right?
You take the loan, you put it in the maybe volatile, maybe risky investments that you want to do. But you know what the safety net is? All of your money that you borrowed has been paid back because you took a loan to make those investments. So the money that you have at risk is all profit. So I would never wish this on anybody, but what if you went out and lost 100% of that money? You've already paid back your account. You've already repaid the policy loan back. So your safety is still secured. So you could move forward in life and maybe you'll try it again. Maybe you're that risk hungry. And I don't make that determination. I don't make those choices. I'm kind of agnostic as to where you want to invest and plow your money in to create your income streams. Yeah. My thing is creating the financial safety net and creating the financial base, the capital base, the family banking system that's going to fund the things that you want to invest in.
I remember talking to a rich guy, and one of the things that he did with his profits was buy laundromats. I thought, why? Because they spin off cash, and then the cash just starts growing his nuts some more. I never really thought about it. And then I'm like, hey, maybe I should consider some of these things. So you got the capital base, you create capital assets, these income sources become your retirement income. So the trading account was one example, but you have money to live that's off of the base. So you're not drawing down your nut. You're actually still growing your nut while you have actual cash flow. And that becomes a way of quote unquote retirement or retirement income.
Sure. And at the same time, if you have kids, you're teaching your kids what you're doing so that they can grow into this type of a model so that they could understand the need to become the next generation of stewards.
Talk to me about that, because that term is the one that I'm drawn to, that because the money, I mean, us, we're Christians, we think we're stewards of it. God provided it as his money, and he's showing us what to do. So how do you instill that in your children? How do you make sure, because you want them, number one, to also respect the bank and grow the bank. Mm-hmm. But then number two, you want them doing good things.
Right. So there are several things that we talk about, and you just named it. It's all his money. It's all God's money. And because I'm a steward, I don't have the luxury of being able to blow it. I'm responsible for growing this, preserving it, protecting it, and hopefully expanding it and creating income from it that could do other things without having to destroy the principle. And all the while, my kids are watching me, right? Hopefully they're watching me do good things. They're watching me make wise choices. And they're also watching me enjoy the benefits of being a steward, right? The steward gets to live in the house that's owned by the master, right? I get to live here. So I do have to take care of it. I want to take care of it for the next generation, maybe even improve it a little bit, right? But I want to take my kids and give them an outward focus. I think there's the key. I want them to understand the reasons why we want to create cash flows that are going to go out to good causes. I mean, not every single person on the planet has the privileges and the blessings we have in America. Right? And you probably know this. There's over 2 billion people in the world who don't make $2 a day. So if you think that all the charities are fully funded, if you think that all the poor people have been fed today, they haven't. If you think all the water wells have been dug that needed to be dug, they haven't been. A missionary friend of mine just sent me a video last month of a new well that they drilled in Zambia. And the people around that well were dancing for joy because they weren't going to have to walk miles every single day with giant clay pots on their shoulders. And I'm not making this up. This is not a fable. This happens in this world today. They just dug a well that hit water that is now going to be able to provide water for hundreds and thousands of people in a village and the surrounding village where they won't have to walk miles and through treacherous territory. I mean, these are the things I want my kids to understand. Not everybody lives in America. Not everybody lives the way we live. Not everybody has the privileges. Not everybody has a vehicle that actually starts every single time I put the key in, right? So I want the kids to understand that there are people out there that we can help, that we can be a blessing to. I want to love and serve as many people as I can. And so what better way to do that than to have the resources? I mean, it takes money to buy bread.
You don't say. All right. So create capital assets, turn them into income sources, fund your retirement. And then it's our responsibility to teach our children to be good stewards and show them the way forward. Anything else you want to say as we're wrapping this one up, or shall we tease the next one?
Well, the whole idea of using a life insurance policy for the living value is the essence of the infinite banking concept. It's a model and a philosophy and a lifestyle that allows you to continue to enjoy, but also look to the future and create more value that you push forward to the future, even than you're spending on yourself today. So it's self-perpetuating. It does get better and better with every generation. To me, it's a win-win-win all around.
Incredible, Joe. Thank you for sharing today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Next time, we're going to dive into some advanced strategies to maximize your infinite banking system. So we will see you guys next time. That is a wrap for today.
This is thepodcastfactory.com.